Yo, 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 what is up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be kind of just talking to you guys. I'm just going to be talking to the camera. I'm going to really try not to string it along and talk about stupid shit. The whole idea is to be talking about me taking the biggest risk of my life again, and what that entails, exactly how much money I'm spending, what my 3 to 6 month plan looks like, and basically yeah, so let's get right into it, guys. I am taking the biggest risk of my life again. And when I say again, I mean, I think the biggest risk of my life up until this point was me quitting my full time job last year. February of 2024, I quit my full time job before I ever closed a wholesale deal yet. I hadn't made any money in entrepreneurship at all. And I thought that quitting my full time job would be the right choice. And it was. I think going all in on things is the right choice in life. Taking huge risks is the right choice in life. Everyone has different risk tolerances, but for me, I'd rather risk it all and go all in. And it pays off. It paid off. And at this point in time where I'm at now, I've taken so many fucking risks that I'm not afraid at all. Like, I'm not afraid at all, guys. And I say that to kind of like, I say that to kind of hopefully speak into you. If you're scared to take risk, if you're scared to burn the boats and take that next step, I'm sure you guys are young like I am. I'm only 21. I just turned 21 last month. And I mean, if you're 21 or 25, even 25 and younger, you have nothing to lose, bro. Like, if you don't have a wife, if you don't have kids, you literally have nothing to lose. Like, just risk it all, bro. Like, you only have one life. Are you really going to sit here and spend your one life, your one existence on this earth ever by taking the safe route, by working a job, by going to college, by living life in comfort? I really hope not. And if you are, please listen to what I just said and apply it to your life. And I'm nothing special. Don't think that I'm trying to like boast and be better than you. I'm not. I'm just telling you my experience and how it could help you. So, anyways, that was the biggest risk of my life, was quitting my full-time job. And I've taken a lot of risks up until that time, like putting myself in very uncomfortable positions, spending a lot of money and wasting a lot of money. Um, but that's just been my mindset, guys. I haven't been afraid to spend money. I've never been afraid to take risks. I've never been afraid to put myself in uncomfortable spots. And the risk compounds. So, like, I took the biggest risk of my life by quitting my job, and it compounds. So I took more risk and more risk and more risk. And guess what? I made more money and more money and more money and more growth, and I learned more and I accomplished more. And, with that said, um, I'm taking the biggest risk of my life again. Now, how am I doing this? So, I'll give you guys a quick backstory. So, beginning of the year, January, I was still driving for dollars. I was still driving for dollars. I was still doing all the cold calling myself. I had a couple cold callers, but I would just pull mass, absentee owner list for them, stuff like that. I hadn't closed a deal with them. It was kind of bad setup. And for some reason, I got steered in the direction of going fully virtual. So, February, I started going fully virtual. I got like 5 cold callers, spending like $5,000 a month. So that was another risk, right? The risk compounds, like I said, guys. That was another risk. So I closed like a few deals up in Ohio. I closed 3 deals in Ohio. And I actually have a deal closing in Pittsburgh this week, which is funny enough. I was doing the virtual stuff up until literally last month, up until like May 15th. And that kind of ties into why I'm taking this big risk again, guys, is because I'm switching everything again, and for good and for the right reasons, because I've learned and I know where I'm going now. But with that said, guys, so that's just a quick recap. And yeah, so last year I closed 8 deals. This year I've closed 6 so far. I have 2 closing next week. And the reason I'm saying that is because I've made majority of my money where I live. I live in Manatee County, Florida, just south of Tampa. And I made majority of my money here in Manatee County. I've had the most success here. I'm local here. So it's like I'm doubling down on what has worked. I've made a majority of my money from cold calling and postcards. So I'm doubling down on cold calling and postcards, right? And I'm only focusing on Manatee County, Florida for now, having that local presence and dominating. That's the goal. And how I'm doing this is, like I said, I'm doubling down. So instead of like taking the safe route and being scared and sending out, let's say, $2,000 a month in postcards, I'm sending out 10,000 postcards a month. So that's roughly $6,500. So that's one of the risks. The cold calling is normal, right? I've been doing that for months. So right now I have 4 VAs. I'm spending roughly $2,500 a month, including the dialer. So yeah, so that's roughly right there, like $8,000, $9,000. And then I'm working with a data agency called 80/20 REI. Basically, they're just helping me hone in on like with the marketing, right? I felt like that was the right decision, especially going back here. I didn't want to just pull mass absentee owner lists. That's what everybody else targets. I'd rather work with an agency. It's $1,500 a month helping me with that. So that's another risk. Let me just say my expenses right now, this month, starting this month, are well over 10 grand. Like I'm probably going to be spending on the business alone, including marketing and everything else, all the tools, softwares, everything like that. I'm not a sure exact figure, but I think roughly like around 12, in between 12 and 15,000. And that doesn't scare me because I know it's going to work. And I'm in a position where like I know where I'm at, I know what I've accomplished, and I know where I'm going. So that shit doesn't scare me, guys. It does not scare me at all. And so it's cool. It's like awesome because like I know where I'm going. But anyway, so I'm sending out 10,000 postcards a month. I have 4 VAs calling for me. I'm working with the data agency, and then also I'm paying for Collective Genius. It's a mastermind group I'm a part of, which is part of the reason why I'm making this transition is being in that group. They had an in-person event in May, and it really taught me a lot. I shouldn't say taught me a lot, but it really opened up my eyes, I should say. And I pay $12.50 a month for that. Yeah, so I'm spending a lot of fucking money, guys, and that's life. I'm really happy with how far I've come. When I first started this journey, I used to be so scared of money in the sense of I used to be so nervous. I'd be like, oh, what if I run out of money? What if this? What if that? I'd be scared to spend money, but I'm really proud of myself because now I'm not afraid to spend money. I know that the more you spend, the more you make, and that money is just a tool to make more money. And I feel like that's what you have to learn if you truly want to get rich. Everyone that's rich, they understand that. And people that aren't rich, people that are broke and stay broke for life, they think like that. They think about money. You can't think about money. You have to just spend it. Like the more you spend, the more you're going to make. And I know it sounds fucking insane. And obviously you got to stay within boundaries, guys. Like you can't drop 30 grand on a car and that's all you have. You're not going to have anything left over, obviously. Like you got to have some sort of fucking thinking capabilities behind it. But in the sense of like taking risks, putting yourself in a better position because you have the money. Wearing nice clothes, wearing nice watches, having a nice car, having a nice computer, buying a second phone to help you with your business. Like all these things, that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying don't be afraid to spend money. Upping your marketing spend because it's proven to work. You know that you have the skills to make it work. And even if it doesn't fucking work, you learn. Like I'm only 21 years old. Even if it doesn't work, guys, even if I'm bankrupt in 3 months, which isn't going to fucking happen, I learned. Great. I learned that I made a mistake. I still have the skill of wholesaling. And I know that I'm going to be a millionaire in 5 years anyways. By the time I'm 25, I'll be a multimillionaire. I know that for a fucking fact. And, the reason I'm saying all of this, guys, is that I'm taking the biggest risk of my life. Again, spending well over 10 grand a month. And I know it's going to pay off. I have 2 deals closing next week, so we should be making 30 G's this month, 30 grand, which is awesome. I'm, really happy with the position I'm in. And I know that within the next 3 to 6 months, I'm going to be set to making I'm going to be on the path to $1 million business, in the sense of making like 75 to 100 grand a month. That's the goal. Really, the goal is 100 grand a month, obviously, but, 7-figure business as in 80 to 100 grand a month. That's 7-figure business. And, I got a lot to learn. I got a lot to do, and I'm super excited for it. But I'm glad that I got through the initial beginning phases. I got my first deal out of the way. I got my first 10 deals out of the way. I made a lot of mistakes. I wasted a lot of money. And it got me in the position I am today. I've spent, guys, literally over in real estate alone, over 10 grand in mentorships. Maybe more, honestly, but probably around 10 grand I've spent. And Matt, so yeah, I mean, that's about it, guys. And so I hope that makes sense. Obviously you guys get the gist. I'm taking the biggest risk, doubling down on what has worked. And yeah, so that's exactly what I'm doing. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated with how it goes. I think I'm going to do like weekly or monthly check-ins, or maybe like once every 2 weeks. I'm also tracking all my progress on Instagram. I'm doing Road to 100K. I'm just starting that out, so it's a learning experience for me. I'm not, I'm kind of playing with the format, exactly how I'm going to be doing it, whatnot, but I'm definitely going to be staying consistent with building the brand. I really want to build a brand, so that in 5 years, when I am a multimillionaire, I'll also have a brand. I'll be able to connect with people, teach people, have a community, and, really better the world. Because, I mean, what's life? What's a wealthy life? Having a lot of money. Like, I know that's a given, right? Again, I'm not trying to boast. Like, I'm confident about something, and that's how you got to live your life, guys. So what's the point of being a multimillionaire when I'm 25, right? Like, because I know it's going to happen. What's the point of that if you don't have a community, if you don't actually help people, upbring people, uplift people? That's the whole idea. So I really want to build a brand so I can have that, right? So I can help people out. I can give back to the community. I can, help people get their first wholesale deal, right? Like, that would be amazing. Like, kind of similar to like Zach and Rick Ginn, for example. They crush it in the community, and they provide a lot of fucking value. I know they helped me a lot in the beginning. But they're also multimillionaires from wholesaling, which is cool. And yeah, so pretty similar to them. But anyways, I'm going on a tangent, guys. But yeah, I'm taking the biggest risk of my life again, and it's going to pay off. And going into 2026, I'll be set to be making 100 grand a month. I have full belief in that. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It might have been off topic a little bit, but you guys get the overall understanding. So I appreciate you guys watching. Check out my Instagram. It's Ethan with 2 N's, REI. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.